Now it's time to be naughty. This week's character breakdown is Bayonetta, who made her first appearance in, that's right, Bayonetta, which released across multiple platforms in 2009. Bayonetta's real name is Cereza, but she's also known as the famed Witch. Bayonetta's Beast Within form references Okami by leaving a trail of roses and skull-headed flowers where she runs. And Bayonetta also references Beautiful Joe in Chapter 3 of the first game when she surfs on a wave and says, "Dancing a go-go, baby." What's up, YouTube? I'm Choctopus, and this week we are breaking down Bayonetta, the Umbra Witch who can dominate in the air and use wicked weaves to summon Madama Butterfly for some pretty devastating attacks. Bayo is definitely unique to the roster, and before we get into the breakdown, I do want to explain some of her mechanics. But remember, this is a weekly series, so if there's a character you want to see next week, vote for it down in the comment section below. First up, we have Bullet Arts. Now, in some attacks, when holding down the A button, and in some cases the B button, it will cause Bayonetta to use her hands and feet to shoot bullets. Now, Bullet Arts can be used as a poke, but it does increase ending lag for each attack, so use it sparingly, but it is a good tool for ledge guarding. Next, we have Bats Within, which is a technique that will make Bayonetta transform into a swarm of bats, which will half the damage that is received from an attack and allow her to continue going in the direction she was heading. This technique can be performed early in a roll or in an air dodge. It can also be performed in the later frames of Witch Time, which is Bayonetta's down B. Then we have Special Lag. Bayonetta's Witch Twists and Afterburner Kicks can be used twice each in the air, and each time you'll use them, you will get a stack with a maximum up to 4. If you use all 4 of them, you're going to have more ending lag than if you were to just do one of them. Last up, we have Jump Canceling into Witch Twist, which we're going to cover more in the special moves section. I do, however, recommend setting a trigger button to jump when playing Bayonetta, because it makes double witch twisting a lot easier. But now, let's get into the breakdown. Bayonetta's jab is interesting because she has this lengthy combo which can be performed by hitting A repeatedly, but you can also hold A during her flurry, and she'll trap you for a finite amount of time before knocking you away. You can also perform the combo with Bullet Arts from a distance, with a bit of awkward timing hitting and holding the A button. But as far as her jab goes, it's pretty weak. Use it situationally because it has a ton of end lag, and at higher percents your opponent can escape it. Her dash attack travels far and has a long hitbox, but it's incredibly slow to start and finish, so you're going to want to use it with caution. However, at really high percentages, it can be used to pick up a kill unexpectedly, but I'm talking somewhere around like 190 to 200%. All of Bayonetta's smash attacks are incredibly strong and have insane range due to her using Wicked Weaves to summon Madama Butterfly, but they're also slow and have low priority to balance it out. Now, her forward smash has a sweet spot and will kill around 100% on middleweights. It can also be angled slightly upward or downward with a control stick. Up smash will uppercut directly in front of Bayo, and it's also a solid kill option at 120% around the same weight. Down smash has a huge hitbox, and it will spike a recovering opponent, which makes it a really good attack for ledge guarding. Now, because they're so slow, spamming them on stage could lead to your opponent punishing you, but if you do want to use them to pick up a kill, one of the best setups is to use Witch Time, especially at higher percents because it'll slow them for a longer amount of time. So we're going to make Richter do an F smash here, we're going to counter at Witch Time, and then we're going to pick up a kill with the F smash. Next up, we have Bayonetta's special move, starting with her neutral special, which is Bullet Climax, where Bayo will use her hand or feet guns, that's right, feet guns, to fire a quick burst of bullets. Now, you can charge the attack by holding B, which will increase the damage and knockback, or you can tap it to fire more bullets. Now, the attack has amazing range, which makes it great for gimping a recovery, but the attack slightly angles up, so it could be a pain to use against smaller characters. Side B is Heel Slide, which is one of the best combo starters. Now, just to clarify, Heel Slide when using the attack on the ground will cause Bayonetta to slide into her opponent, similar to Ganondorf's Wizard Kick, minus the crazy knockback. And Afterburner is the attack that happens in the air, and if you connect it in the air, you can actually do a second one. Now, you can also do it in either direction, so if you land an Afterburner Kick, you can go the same way, or like I just showed you, you can go opposite. You can also angle the attack downward by doing a quarter circle B, which will also change the angle of knockback. When doing it on the ground, holding B will cause Bayonetta to do this kick, which will send her opponent above her afterwards, which can set up into a number of attacks. Now, the beauty of doing combos with Bayonetta is there's a lot of attacks that are interchangeable depending on the weight and percentage of the opponent. And we're not going to go over every single combo that she's capable of, and that's not really the point of this video. The point is to talk about the basics of Bayonetta and what are the best ways to start and build combos with her. Now, if you don't hold B, you can also use up tilt to bring your opponent overhead, but it's not as safe for comboing. It's always best to go for the extended heel slide. And a solid bread and butter combo that you can build on, very simple, is heel slide to witch twist to afterburner kick, which is side B in the air. Now, against Richter, I can change this combo up by doing a second afterburner kick and then fast falling for a back air, and I can also do a nair to a back air. Up B is witch twist, which can actually be done twice with a jump in between. To say that took me like 10 takes because of the tongue twister. Now, one of the critical techniques to playing Bayonetta is learning how to jump cancel in between the witch twist so you can actually do another jump afterwards. And just to clarify, it's not a third jump, but it's the ability to keep your second jump if you can cancel the jump between the two witch twists in 3 frames. I know that sounds really confusing, but just to be simple about it, basically what you can do is you can do 2 up Bs, but if you do it fast enough after the jump in between, you can still jump. Now, if you want to get good at Bayonetta, this is critical because it gives her a lot of potential off stage. And the way I like to practice this is I jump off the stage, since that's primarily where you're going to be using it. And I like to, oh, we died there. Now you're going to jump off the stage, you're going to do up B, jump up B, and if you do it right, you should be able to do another jump afterwards. Now, the trick to it is, if you see Bayonetta's butterfly wings, you won't be able to do it because it took too many frames. Now, the best way to do it is to just hold up and then go back and forth between the jump button and the B button. And you can also combine it with afterburner kick to get some better horizontal recovery. And last, we have Bayo's down B, which is witch time, that will allow her to avoid an attack and slow time, giving her an opening to either do a smash attack or start a combo. And the duration is going to scale with the opponent's damage if used repeatedly. So, whoop, that wasn't it. So if we get hit with an attack and we use down B, we'll slow time and we'll have an opening to use a smash or run in and do a tilt combo. And if you happen to do this early enough, if the attack connects at the end of Witch Time's animation, instead of doing Witch Time, she'll actually just do Bats Within. Next up, we have Bayonetta's tilts, and she has a pretty good tilt game, starting with her forward tilt, which is this kick, but if you hit A 3 times, it will turn into this 3-hit combo that knocks upward. Now, it's not great for comboing, as it doesn't really lead into anything, but you can use it to force your opponents in the air. Next up, we have this up tilt, which is the scooping upward attack. It's good for pulling your opponent overhead and then starting an air combo from there. It also combos really nicely out of her heel slide. And then we have her down tilt, which is this sweeping attack. It comes out really quick, and it has low base knockback, so it works well into combos like a neutral air, right into other things like this. Up tilt also works as an anti-air, which is great because you can use it to punish opponents who are approaching with an air attack and just pull them overhead and start a combo. But overall, really utilize Bayonetta's tilt attacks to find openings. Like, you can use down tilt as a good out of shield option because it's so fast. Next up, we have Bayonetta's air attacks, and her air game is going to be critical to combos. Now, starting with her Nair, which has a really long hitbox, even longer if you use bullet arts, but if you do, it will also increase the end lag, so be careful with that. But it's great because it has a long-lasting hitbox, so you can use it as a ledge guard, because you could just jump off, you could do bullet art Nair, and then you can jump back on, try and gimp your opponent's recovery. So if we do knock Richter off the stage, we can do a fast fall bullet arts Nair to knock them further away. As for the attack itself, it has pretty low base knockback, so you can work it into your strings. Next up, we have her forward air, which works similar to her forward tilt in the sense where you can actually do 3 of them in the air and knock your opponent back. It works really well out of a double witch twist in combos, and like I said, if you plan on playing Bayonetta, you're going to want to switch one of your shoulder buttons to jump in the control settings because it just makes doing the double witch twist combo a lot easier. So you can do an extended combo and then end it with a double witch twist to forward air. Next up, we have her back air, which is this spinning heel kick, and this is one of her better kill options off stage. It's also pretty easy to combo with, but if you do have your opponent off the stage, it's a good option for picking up that kill. As far as combos go, at low percents, it's pretty easy to combo right after an afterburner kick. Another really good use for it, and this works at all percents, but I want to show you at 120 because it will kill confirm. If your opponent is ledge guarding and they're standing right by the ledge, if you catch the ledge, go right up into a witch twist into a back air. Next up, we have Bayo's up air, which is this flip kick, and the hitbox is a little weird because it doesn't cover all around her, but it'll cover right above her, and your opponent will go either left or right, depending on where they're kicked. The Bullet Arts version of it is also really good for ledge guarding, as she'll basically just turn into a wheel. It's also great for extending combos and juggling your opponent, so you can do multiple of them in one single combo. And then we have Bayonetta's down air, which is this drop kick, but you do want to be careful with this one because she does have to fall a fixed distance before you can act, so if you do try to spike your opponent off the ledge because it does spike, you're going to have to wait a little while before you can act, so most of the time you're going to self-destruct instead of picking up the kill. Or maybe you'll get the kill and you'll also self-destruct. But if you can get your opponent near the ledge, you can safely do it on the ledge and get the spike. And the attack has a lot of end lag, so you really want to use it sparingly because if you do miss or if your opponent shields, they can easily punish you. Now overall, Bayonetta is very versatile in the air and has a lot of interchangeable air strings, and I recommend just going into training and trying things against different characters with different weights at different percentages because a combo at 60% against Richter is not going to work the same as a combo against, let's say, Jigglypuff at 60%. And the good thing is, because a lot of her strings are interchangeable with air attacks, I recommend just getting really good with your heel slides into your witch twisting, into afterburner kicks, and just do that in all directions because everything else, every other air attack is basically just filler in between those. And last but not least, we have Bayonetta's grabs and her throws, starting with her up throw, which you can combo it at low percents into an up tilt, but it's pretty easy to air dodge out of, so you're going to want to be careful when using it because if your opponent does air dodge, they can come down and punish you. The same goes for down throw. It's not the best. I mean, it'll put your opponent right in front of you, but there's really no great follow-ups out of it. Then you have the forward throw, which is probably your strongest throw, and it's good for stage control, and at high percents, you can use it for killing. And then you have your back throw, which is good for setting up a tech chase situation. But other than that, her grabs aren't the best for combos. You know, her best combo stars, like I said, are going to be your heel slides, your down, and your up tilts. So that's it for Bayonetta's breakdown. She plays so differently from the rest of the roster, and there's a lot of huge potential to do some long strings. She does, however, have a pretty steep learning curve, so it's going to take some practice to get good with her more advanced tech like jump canceling and double witch twist combos. But if you enjoyed this video, go smash that like button or gently caress it. We're not shy here. We do weekly breakdowns and a lot of other cool stuff on this channel, so if you're into it, go subscribe if you haven't yet. Or maybe you don't want to subscribe, which is also fine, but you could also go subscribe. Now go get some wins with the Umbra Witch. Go follow on Twitch or Twitter if you want. Join the Discord if you want to come hang with us. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next video. Later.